Good morning. Welcome to Craft Time at the Lisbon Hepburn Library. My name is Michelle McLagan and I am the director of the library here in Lisbon. And today our craft project is something for St. Patrick's Day. Happy early St. Patrick's Day. Our project is this right here. This is a St. Patrick's Day gnome leprechaun character that we're going to do out of some cardstock paper. We have craft packets that we've been handing out all week long. We still have a few left. Feel free to stop by the library. We're open on Fridays from 9 to 5 and you can pick up a packet. Your packet will have instructions on the first sheet, some shapes to cut out. You've got a shamrock, a nose, 2 hands, 2 boots, a beard, 2 different hat shapes. This is the hat shape that I've used here, as you can see. And then you'll also have some paper. You'll have a beigey sort of color to do the nose and to do the hands with. And then you'll have a fancy piece of paper with some different prints on it. Everybody gets a slightly different design. And then you'll have a sheet of green. Again, some of them are darker green or lighter green. And then you will also have 2 different colors of orange, a lighter orange and a darker orange. If you use this sparingly, you should be able to get a beard out of each of the 2 oranges. So you'll end up with 2 different colors of orange. And you should be able to get a hat out of this particular size green, a hat out of the other green. Some of them are a little bit different shaped. And then work your shamrock and your boots around in the spare pieces, and then you've got enough of this beige color to do 2 noses and 4 hands. So you should be able to do 2 crafts. So what I'm going to do is set this aside. You're going to take and cut out all of the shapes, and you're going to use your scissors to do that, and you're going to use a pencil that you provide from home or a pen to trace everything. So let me put that aside. And this is what you will end up with once you have cut out your shapes. You will have the beard and 2 hats. This is the other hat, and this is the hat that I had used here. And you will be able to cut out this. So this will be your shamrock. And be sure when you're cutting out your boots that you do cut out both of them. The reason that I make that suggestion is that it's a lot easier to trace 2 separate boots in order to get 2 separate ones. Some of the paper that we've provided is only colored on one side. Here's an example of the paper that I was using. And what I did was I traced my things on the back side so I didn't have pencil marks on the front. And admittedly, I used the same boot and I did it twice, and my poor leprechaun ended up with 2 left feet. So it helps to actually use both of those. And then you've got your nose and the 2 hands. And if you're making 2 gnomes, you'll want to make sure that you get to reuse them. So what I did with my paper is I just had 1 sheet of orange, so I cut that out. And then over here I have this. So this is my beard that's ready to go. And then I had 2 different sheets. These are my leftovers of print cardstock. So my first one, I used this particular color here, and I used this one here. On my second one that I'm going to craft with you today, I reversed the colors just because I had enough paper to be able to do that. So I have 2 boots, a left and a right, and a hat. And then I used the other color that was up here for my shamrock. And then I also have my nose and my 2 hands. So that is what I have cut out already so that you don't have to watch me cut them out today. And the next thing that we're going to do is start assembling everything. Now, in your packet, again, you have a lighter shade of orange and a darker shade of orange, so you would end up having a different color here. But the first thing that you want to do is look at how I've assembled this one. Basically, I've started with the beard, and then I have put the hat on at the top, but it doesn't overlap too far, so you don't want to put too awfully much glue on the hat. And the easiest thing to do is to sit here and sort of place it. Like, where do you want it? Do you want it kind of off to the side a little bit, or do you want it straight up and down? And then see kind of where it lines up, and then make a judgment call there for where you want to put the glue. And you really do only want it right around the edge there. So I think I'm going to put this one over this way just a little bit. And you might want to be careful with your table and use something to protect it so you don't get glue on your table. So there is my hat. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is figure out how he's standing. So I'm going to put his feet on, and his feet are going to go, if you look at my original, they're going to go on the back, and you can put them up a little bit so that his legs aren't too long. Usually leprechauns and gnomes both are on the shorter side, but you only want to put your glue at the very top, and you do want to put it on the front side of your boot so that you can kind of reach underneath and put it down there. And then the same thing here. We're just going to put some glue at the top on the front side, and you can put his feet sticking out straight, or you can make it look like he's dancing with one foot up. That's your choice to do however you want. The next thing that I'm going to do is take my shamrock, and again, I have a front side and a back side with this particular kind of paper, and I do want to go ahead and glue that whole thing down. So I'll put glue all the way around and down the stem as well, and then decide kind of where do you want that. You know, it's right there in the middle of his face, so, or in front of his beard. So I think I'll put it right there, and I will press that down. Then we have his nose. And this particular piece of paper that I have, you can see where I traced on this side because there's a little bit of my pencil mark. So that's going to be the bottom that I'm going to use. And you want plenty of glue on there to hold that down. And if you look at my other one, I have his nose up here. So we'll put his nose right there. And maybe you have to slide it a little bit behind the shamrock, depending on where you put your shamrock. And then we've got two hands. And again, there's one side that you can see my pencil marks on. So that's going to be the side that I glue down. And you want to just imagine that he's kind of gripping from behind. So it's okay if his hands stick off the edge of his beard because he's coming around from behind. And then again, we'll glue his other hand on. And we'll put it just about there. All right, so that's everything that needs to be glued. You have an option if you want to. You can write a message on the shamrock, or you could write something on his hat. You can put a name on it. You could do whatever you want to do. And that's why you would need some kind of marker or a pen or something to write with. But I'm not going to write anything on this one. I'm going to leave this one blank and just put away my glue and my scissors and all of my other supplies. So this is what we end up with, two different leprechaun gnomes in celebration of St. Patrick's Day, the one that I had as my sample and the one that I just made. So you can see that they're a little bit different from each other, but that gives you two different ideas of what you can do with the different shapes that you've been provided. Well, enjoy crafting with us today. I'm glad that I was able to be here for you, and I will see you next week. In the meantime, be sure to join us for story time next Wednesday, and have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. Take care. Bye-bye.